Manny Pacquiao confirmed that he will come out of retirement and fight WBO welterweight champion Jessie Vargas on November 5th in Las Vegas. Vargas is 27-1 with 10 KOs. His only loss coming last year to Timothy Bradley. Max, what does this fight say about Manny?
Look, Manny's coming back to fight. The question is why? And where is he in his career? Terence Crawford is one of the best fighters in boxing. He's sitting right there waiting for a fight with Pacquiao. He's a very dangerous fight. That's a 50-50 type of fight. I think most boxing insiders might even favor Crawford in that one. And that's a bigger money fight than a fight against Jessie Vargas. Vargas is a harder sell than Crawford. So if you're coming back and you'd rather fight the guy that's harder to sell for the money, for a pay-per-view fight, than the guy that's easier to sell for the pay-per-view fight, what does that mean? It means you're just doing it for the money and you're avoiding the bigger risk at this point. Jessie Vargas is a good dude. He's a broadcaster, too. Sometimes works for HBO and a real, genuinely good dude. Like, there's a fighter we had at a meeting the other day talk about when he was a kid, when he was coming up and he was broken, he had nothing, and Jessie Vargas would give him shoes and stuff, and the fighter's wife was in the fighter meeting, and she started to cry because of, like, what a good dude Jessie Vargas is, right? Really good guy. And a good, solid fighter. He's good. He's not bad. Not a big puncher, and the kind of guy where if he beats Pacquiao, that means Pacquiao is washed as a top-level fighter. So the fact that Pacquiao chooses to fight Vargas instead of Terence Crawford can only say one thing at this point, which is that he's just fighting for the money. I know it sounds naive in a sense because it's prize fighting. They're all fighting for the money. But he's fighting as like kind of a money grab while avoiding the bigger money for the more dangerous opponent. It doesn't say good things about where he is at the moment, Stephen A.
It doesn't say very good things about him at the moment, but I don't think that it's as bad as you think. Let me tell you what I think it says about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is willing to steal money, fighting guys that are easier, waiting for Floyd Money Mayweather to come out of retirement and give him a shot so he can fight that one last big fight and call it a day and call it a career. That's what he's doing. If Floyd Money Mayweather can have his last fight against Andre Berto, okay, Pacquiao's like, why can't I have a fight against Jessie Vargas? Why do I need to go into the ring and potentially elevate the profile of a Terence Crawford, a Keith Thurman, or somebody like that, when indeed I can fight somebody who's a more winnable opponent? It keeps me a little bit alert and fresh. And in the meantime, I'm hoping that ultimately Floyd Money Mayweather will come out of retirement within the next year or so and give me a fight because I could potentially make $100 million off of that. That's what he's thinking, not jeopardizing anything until he fights Floyd Money Mayweather and not possibly losing, thereby elevating somebody else to be a more prime opponent for Floyd Money Mayweather. That's what he's thinking, in my opinion.
That's 100% right. I mean, if you're talking about why he's charting this course, hasn't always been Pacquiao in the past. When Pacquiao was on top of the boxing world, even when there was a fight that was obvious that he could win, that's because it was a big money fight. If there was a bigger money fight, he would go to that fight. He's now at the stage in his career where he's going to smaller money fights. You're right, ultimately, the payday is the Mayweather rematch. If it does half the business of the first fight, he's still going to make about $100 million.
He's still going to make $100 million. And by the way, keep it in mind, you know, getting put to sleep like he did by Juan Manuel Marquez will change anybody's kind of thinking. So, I mean, you can't walk into the ring assuming that you're going to stand up straight and beat anybody after you get put to sleep. Anybody can get stunned. Anybody can get dropped. Anybody can fail to get their faculties in order within 10 seconds. That could happen to anybody off of one good shot. But when you get put to sleep, like he got put to sleep by Marquez, that's going to change your thinking, and I don't blame him. I blame Floyd more for taking Andre Berto than I do for Pacquiao taking Vargas, because Floyd Money Mayweather could have walked in the ring with even a superior fighter to that and still make them look silly, whereas Pacquiao has evidence that shows he might need to be a little bit more careful.
To that point, Vargas is not a puncher. I mean, he was able to hurt Timothy Bradley. He scored a knockout in his last fight, but you see only the 10 knockouts in almost 30 fights, and he's just not a puncher at either weight class in which he's campaigned. Andre Berto, by the way, for Floyd Mayweather, did under 500,000 pay-per-view buys by all accounts. And that was a far cry from the point where Mayweather was doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys against opponents who weren't the sexiest names in the world as everyone was waiting for a Pacquiao fight. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was such a dud in the ring that it affected the boxing business negatively. And that includes Floyd's business, and that includes Pacquiao's business. Right. The pay-per-view numbers are much smaller, and so you see now, Pacquiao, you mentioned him getting put to sleep. That's right, that will affect the way a guy attacks other fighters. He's still an attacking fighter, but maybe not like he was before the Marquez fight, and that affects your choice of opponents. When you look at Timothy Bradley, not a puncher. Jessie Vargas, not a puncher. Terrence Crawford, who was one of the likely opponents here, is not only a superior boxer, but he can also bang if you come right at him.
That's right, which is why Pacquiao should stay the hell away from him. If you have any shot, the only way Pacquiao should fight Terrence Crawford or somebody like that, or Keith Thurman, somebody like that, is if there's no chance on earth that he'll get a chance to fight Floyd Money Mayweather. If that, for any reason, completely becomes an impossibility, then you take that risk. But as long as you potentially have Floyd Money Mayweather on the horizon, why risk it?
Exactly. No. Manny, not the only one not ready to hang it up in the association. Ray Allen is ready to come out of retirement, and we know why. A Boston Globe reporter said on CSN New England, Allen doesn't enjoy watching Steph Curry draining threes and wants to extend his three-point record to prevent Curry from breaking it. So looking at the all-time leaders in three-point buckets, Allen is currently 1,380 ahead of Curry. Steph has over 400 three-pointers last season, meaning that Curry could theoretically pass Allen within the next 5 seasons. Stephen A., how senseless is this reasoning for Allen's comeback?
It's not senseless at all. It's just unrealistic. There's a difference. There's no way in hell that Steph Curry is not going to pass his record. Steph Curry's only 27, 28 years of age. He's got about another decade in this business, assuming his ankles hold up. And when you are a sniper, the way that he is, in the system that Golden State employs, there is no way on earth that Ray Allen is not going to get caught. Steph Curry will ultimately surpass him unless he gets injured. But if you're Ray Allen, the reason why it's not beyond the realm of comprehension is because you already got him by 1,000. Injuries could happen. If you're Ray Allen and you go into the right place, you can still shoot the basketball, get your shot off, and make the path towards usurping your numbers more realistic and more difficult. So I don't think that this is Ray Allen that we're talking about here, one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. What he's counting on is time working on his side. Get a few more threes in there, and then Steph Curry's going to have to stick around a little bit longer to catch me. That's what he's hoping.
Quickly, if Ray Allen wants to say, hey, I want to play till they tear the uniform off me, and I retired 2 years ago, but I'm ready to come back. Good for him. It's not a full contact sport. You're not getting tackled. You're not getting punched. It's not a combat sport. You should play basketball until they won't pay you to do it anymore. And even then, I get that. But the Steph Curry thing is misguided. Not only is he highly unlikely to stave Steph Curry off as many threes as they take nowadays, and as well as Steph Curry shoots it, but the memory of Ray Allen, he shot 37 and change % from three when last seen 2 years ago, getting wide open looks, which means that's not so good for him. It's not what he was in his prime. And the memory people will be left with is that he wasn't as good a shooter, these kids who see him shoot now, as he actually was. So not only is he not going to hold the all-time record eventually, so he's going to fail there to stave off Steph, but the last impression he's going to leave is that, you know, like, you're going to have to explain to kids watching him now, yeah, I know it looks like he shoots okay. You don't know what it looked like when he was 27 years old.
He's going to go to Golden State and take the threes from Steph.
I doubt
There's nothing he can do. They're shooting 1 million threes a game now.
It's a joke, people. Ray Allen from UConn, my favorite player of all time. No, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if I really believe the reasoning, though. I think it might be a little bit just wants to get a little more money because he knows he can.
Play the game as long as you can. Why not?
I don't think it's just the record.
It's not. He's class personified. He's smart.
It's the record, then.
And he's one of those guys that wanted to step away from the game because it taxed him.
Greatest shooter of all time still?
Ray Allen?
Yep.
I won't say the greatest shooter of all time, but he's one of them.
Shuttlesworth.
He's one of them. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
No question.
Steph is here.
For Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, I am Molly Karam. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a lovely day.